Some JDM cars get all the attention. Think Supras, RX-7s, and the Skylines that TikTok and Instagram Reels have basically turned into internet celebrities. Now, with some going for high five figures and even six figures. But the thing is, not every Japanese performance car went viral. Some are still flying under the radar, offering serious fun without having that social media tax on their price tag. And that's what today's video is all about. We're taking a look at some sporty JDM cars that never got ruined by TikTok hype. So yeah, let's get into it. The first car I want to talk about is the Lexus SC400. When people talk about JDM performance, Lexus usually isn't the first brand that comes to mind. But the SC400? That's one of the most underrated Japanese coupes of the 90s. Under the hood sits Toyota's legendary 1UZ 4-liter V8, making around 250 horsepower. Smooth, reliable, and overbuilt, this engine is known for lasting forever, while still sounding incredible when you let it breathe. The SC400 rode on the same platform as the Toyota Supra, so it had plenty of tuning potential, even if it leaned more toward grand touring than outright sports car. And the best part? Unlike Supras, SC400s never got swept up in internet hype. Prices are still relatively sane, and you're getting a luxury coupe with Japanese reliability and hidden performance chops. It's basically a sleeper Supra with leather seats and wood trim. A perfect buy if you manage to get your hands on one, in my opinion. Next, I have the Mazda MX-6. Again, when you think Mazda sports cars, your mind probably jumps straight to the big names like the Miata or RX-7. But the MX-6? Totally forgotten. The MX-6 was Mazda's front-wheel drive coupe from the late 80s into the 90s. And while it didn't have the cult following of its siblings, it was a seriously competent car. The second generation in particular looked sharp with its smooth lines and subtle 90s aero. Under the hood, the highlight was the 2.5-liter V6, making around 164 horsepower. Doesn't sound like much by modern standards, but the car was light, nimble, and when paired to a manual gearbox, it felt incredible. It also shared a lot of components with the Ford Probe, which means finding parts is still relatively cheap and easy. And because it never blew up online, MX-6 prices stayed in that sweet spot. And as far as 90s JDM go, I think this is in line with the performance standards at the time. Modified versions tend to also have that clean look to them. Another great entry on this list in my opinion, and one I'd consider looking at. Next is the Mitsubishi Galant VR4. See, everyone remembers the Lancer Evolution. It's a car TikTok absolutely loves. It's mad easy to find clips of Evos spitting flames, drifting corners, or blasting rally stages, racking up millions of views. But before the Evo, there was the Galant VR4, and hardly anyone remembers it. This was Mitsubishi's first attempt at building a road-going rally machine. Introduced in the late 80s, the Galant packed the same turbocharged 2-liter engine that would later power the Evolution. It made around 195 horsepower and came paired with Mitsubishi's rally-bred all-wheel drive system and four-wheel steering. Back then, that was futuristic tech. The VR4 was even successful in motorsport. It won the World Rally Championship in 1989. But instead of becoming an internet legend like the Evo, the Galant slipped into obscurity. And in some ways, that's a good thing. Today, the Galant is one of the best hidden gems in JDM history. It's basically a sleeper Evo that blends rally DNA with daily drivability. Another underrated car is the 5th-gen Honda Prelude. While it's true the Integra and Civic Type R got all the fame, the Prelude quietly sat in the background, doing its own thing, and went completely under the radar. By the time the 5th-generation Prelude arrived in the late 90s, Honda had refined the formula into something special. Under the hood sat the H22A VTEC engine, making up to 200 horsepower. Pair that with Honda's signature slick-shifting manual gearbox and precise steering, and you had one of the best balanced front-wheel drive sports coupes of its time. The Prelude was always a little more grown-up compared to the Civic and Integra. It had a more refined interior, a longer wheelbase, and a slightly more upscale feel. Today, it remains one of the last affordable VTEC Hondas that hasn't been completely swallowed up by hype culture. And honestly, that makes it even more appealing. Now let's talk about the Nissan 200S, XSER. When people think Nissan performance, they think Skyline, Silvia, or 350Z. But in the US, we had something different, the Nissan 200SX. Based on the B14 Sentra platform, the 200SX was a compact coupe that looked tame on the outside, but had real potential underneath. The SER trim came with a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, making 140 horsepower. Not huge numbers, but the car was light and quick to rev, and when paired with a 5-speed manual, it became an engaging little driver's car. The SER also carried over Nissan's sportier DNA, with independent rear suspension and balanced handling that made it more than just an economy coupe. Enthusiasts appreciated it, but it never blew up outside of that circle. TikTok doesn't care about it, which means prices stayed low and availability stayed decent. Think of it as Nissan's hidden gem from the 90s. Understated, practical, and fun, without the social media spotlight. And that's my list. 6 JDM cars that TikTok never ruined. They're underrated, affordable, at least compared to the icons, and proof that Japanese car culture runs much deeper than Supras and Skylines. So which one would you daily, build, or track? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more car content.